Is Monday, January 23rd. It's my blue class. We're doing a lesson on 7.3, solving percent problems with proportions. So tomorrow, in tomorrow's lesson, we'll be actually doing word problems. So you've learned two ways you can solve percent problems through using equations, and now you'll be learning to do them with proportions. So those will be your go-to methods. When we get to the word problems, and I don't really consider these to be pure word problems. I'm talking about problems that actually have real quantities of things, not just comparing numbers. You're going to be able to use either of these methods, but you do need to know both methods. So when I give you problems like this on the assessment, you could do them both ways as requested. So let's start with 92% of 30 is what number? And we want to get this into a proportion. The first thing I would like to tell you is that anytime you see anything with percent, that's half of your proportion. If it gives you a number like 92%, 92 100ths, that's one side of your equation. If it says what percent, you write x over 100. And then the only real hard part is where does the other number go, or where do the other numbers go, numerator, denominator. So let's start this one by getting half of our proportion in place, which is 92 100ths. Now, does anybody want to suggest where I might put the 30 and where I might put my variable and why? Jacob?
X over 30 because of 30 is your 100% in this case. So you're trying to find out what percent of that, which is X.
Yeah, and you're right. And probably the only thing I'd add to what you said, it sounds like it's just instinctually you're going there. When you see that of 30, that means out of 30. So that's the little tip I would give you to know that that's why it needs to go to the denominator. Does anybody else have anything that you might want to, how you happen to know where it goes? That's how I think of it. You want to think out of 30. Yes, go ahead, Angela. What's that?
I thought it was something like.
Okay. All right. So, and then what number is our x? All right. So now that we have this proportion, we don't really see a clear multiplier here. So we might think about simplifying here. So I simplify this to what, friends? So 40. Actually, I've got a common factor of 4 here.
23 25ths.
So does everybody agree with that? 23 25ths as x is to 30, okay? And so then we can cross multiply. One of the things you'll see me do in the solutions, instead of actually multiplying the numbers, I kind of do it like so. And I don't, before I multiply them together, I go ahead and divide by 25 there, and then I just work through the common factor. It just makes the factoring a little bit easier when you do that. So what's my common factor of, I have 30 and 23 in the numerator. Where's my common factor?
Wait, you did that wrong.
No, I didn't.
23 and then you wrote 25.
No, it's 25x equals. So basically what I did was I multiplied, here's what I did, Travis. I multiplied 30 and 23, right? But I didn't actually put the product together, okay? I just left it as the two numbers multiplied together. And then I did 25 times x, right? So then I'm dividing by 25. It just makes the simplifying a little bit easier, okay? So I've got how many 5s in 25? 5, right? I've got 6 5s in 30. So I'm going to leave my final answer, the product of the numerator over that 5. So that's 100, and so that's 8, and 1 is 138, right? 138 fifths equals x. Now, just in terms of knowing whether I'm in the right place or not, you might just play around with that. For example, you know that so 130 over 5 is, so 130 over 5 is going to be 26, right? So you've got like 27 5s in there, a little more than 27 5s, so 92% of 30, so that looks like a good amount. Is everybody okay with that answer?
Yes.
All right. So in this next problem, we have 35% of what number is 84. So I'm going to start that by saying put 35% in the fraction form of 35 over 100 of what means times x, all right? So, and then is means equals 84. Now I can simplify that fraction of 35 100ths, can make that divided by 5 is 7, 20ths x equals 84. And I go up here and I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 7 20ths, so times 20 over 7, so times 20 over 7. Let me clean that up a little bit. And that will get me, I'll cancel this 7, and then I'll make a 12, and 12 times 20 is 240, so I get x equals, sorry you can see that 20 so well there, x equals 12 times 20, which is 240. And so let's read that answer back in. So we say 35% of 240 is 84. Remember, 1/3 of 240 is 80, and so this is just above that, so that looks like a good answer there. In this last example on this page, I say, what percent of 98 is 147? So remember, 147 is more than 98, so I'm going to go x over 100 equals, of 98, that means the 98 goes to the denominator. I have 147. Now hopefully you're attentive to the fact that 98 and 147 have a common factor of 49, so that's 3 times 49 over 2 times 49, so that's 3 halves. So I have x over 100 equals 3 halves, and so I've just got a multiplier here of times 50. So going this direction, it's times 50. So 3 times 50 is 150. So x equals 150. So we'll say 150% is our answer. And so reading that back into the question, 150% of 98 is 147. Since 47 is 49 more, that means it's a half more, and that's what 150% means. All right, so we're looking at 170% of what number is 221? All right, could I have, how about Avery?
Okay.
Nice and loud.
170 over 100 equals
221 over x, because remember the of what number came, the what number came after the of, so out of what number, so the 221 needs to go in the numerator there. All right, Avery, can I do any simplifying here? Well, I must have several people named Avery. All right, here we go. Avery,
You can simplify 170 and 100.
and that gets what? What does it get when you simplify?
17 over 10.
Very good. 17 over 10 equals 221 over x. I'm not sure if 17 is a factor of 221. It is. Okay. Does anybody know what that multiplier is? What are we saying it is?
13.
13, of course. All right. I have such smart students. So times 13. If you didn't get it, you certainly could have cross-multiplied and gotten there that way. So we get that x equals what, Avery?
130.
130. Since it says what number, I can circle it. So we say 170% of 130 is 221, right? Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. So we're looking at this problem now. 3.5 is 2.5% of what number? Okay, all right, Jacob.
3.5 over x equals 2.5 over 100.
Okay, and when we, instead of the 2.5, I'm going to say 25 over 1,000. Is that all right?
Okay.
Equals, and then a 3.5 over x. All right, so we'll keep that as a decimal for now. So does 25 over 1,000 simplify?
Yeah.
To what? One what? So that's 1/40th equals 3.5 over x. If you didn't like that 3.5, you could make it 35 tenths over 10x, but that's all right. So then we get x equals 40 times 3.5, right? And that is equal to, well, 40 times 3 is 120, and half times 40 is 20. So it should be 140, right?
Yes.
And read it back into the problem. 3.5 is 2.5% of 140. Remember, 1% of 140 is 1.4. So it certainly sounds like a good amount there. All right, and let's just move up, and I'll remember to turn the recording on this time. Actually, I still got it on. 2486 is what percent of 2200? All right, let's see. Mia,
Yeah.
how about help me out here?
2 for x over 100
Okay, good. That's, I was hoping you'd start there.
equals 2486 over 22.
Yes, since the 2200 comes over after the of, that puts it in the denominator. All right, now suggestions from there. Suggestions from there. Okay, so we can simplify for sure. So what are some common factors we have there? We have, I'm not sure if we have 4. Should we check 22?
You can just do that. 113 over.
2486 divided by 22. We can check that.
I checked it.
What is it?
100 times whatever is equal to 2200.
What does 22 do?
Okay, so did you do that? Times 100 equals
Yeah,
2200x. Divide by 2200, and then we can take out the 2 zeros, right? All right, and then we can assess whether they have any more common factors. So does 22 go into 2486 evenly? We could either do long division on that, or we can take a 2 out and see if 11 goes into the next number. So does that come out evenly?
130.
No. So that is 113 as our final answer there, right?
113%.
And so, thank you. So x equals 113, which will say 113%. And 2486, we know it's more than 100% of 2200. So that's a good answer. Circle that. And good job, blue class.